Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin shows a strong upward trend. The price has consistently been making higher highs and higher lows, and the forecast for the next week indicates continued upward momentum. The RSI values have fluctuated between 49.8 and 62.3, suggesting periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have also widened, indicating increased volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $110,700. The initial stop loss should be set at $109,500, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to protect against a potential pullback. The first target price should be $113,500, aligning with the forecast price for July 13, 2025. If the price reaches this target, consider moving the stop loss to the entry price of $110,700 to secure profits and further capitalize on the upward trend. The second target price should be $115,000, which is the forecast price for July 16, 2025. This strategy combines trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a clear uptrend. The price has consistently moved above the support level of $2,680 and is projected to continue rising, reaching $2,980 by July 16, 2025. The RSI values, while fluctuating, generally remain within a healthy range, indicating strengthening momentum. The Bollinger Bands also support this upward trajectory, with the price consistently approaching the upper band. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $2,690 on July 10, 2025. The stop loss should be set at $2,680, just below the support level, to protect against a potential reversal. The initial target price is $2,780, aligning with the forecast for July 11, 2025. If the price reaches this target, consider moving the stop loss to the entry price of $2,690 to secure profits and potentially ride the trend further. A secondary target price of $2,980, based on the forecast for July 16, 2025, provides an ambitious but achievable goal. This strategy combines trend analysis, support and resistance levels, and forecast data to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP exhibits a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently moving towards the resistance level of $2.58. The RSI values, while fluctuating, have generally been trending upwards, indicating increasing bullish momentum. The forecast prices for the next week are also consistently above the recent historical prices, further reinforcing the bullish outlook. We will implement a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize returns. The initial entry point will be $2.33, coinciding with the start of the forecast period and a slight dip below the recent high. A stop loss will be set at $2.30 to protect against a potential pullback, and the initial target price will be $2.50, aiming to capture a significant portion of the upward movement. To refine our approach, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band, it signals a potential oversold condition, which could be an opportunity for a secondary entry at $2.05. The stop loss for this entry would be $2, and the target price would be $2.30. Conversely, if the price reaches the upper band, it suggests an overbought condition, and we will consider taking profits or tightening our stop loss. The overall portfolio will allocate 60% to the primary strategy, entry at $2.33, and 40% to the secondary strategy, entry at $2.05, based on the higher probability of the primary strategy achieving the target price of $2.50. This dynamic approach, combining trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Band confirmations, should yield high returns while effectively managing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB exhibits an overall upward trend, supported by consistently breaching the $660 mark and the projected increase to $688. The RSI consistently remains below 80, indicating the asset is not currently overbought, and dips below 40 only briefly, suggesting limited oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show the price fluctuating within a range, with the forecast indicating a potential move towards the upper band. Therefore, I propose a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $668, placing a stop-loss order at $653, just below the established support level. Our initial target price will be $686, aligning with the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI dips below 20, indicating an oversold condition, we will enter a long position at $668 with the same stop-loss at $653. If the RSI exceeds 80, suggesting an overbought condition, we will close the position. As the price approaches the upper Bollinger Band, we will adjust our target price to $688, reflecting the bullish forecast. This combined approach, leveraging both Bollinger Bands and RSI, provides a robust and adaptive investment strategy for BNB, aiming for high returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana shows an overall upward trend. The price has been fluctuating between a support price of $154 and a resistance price of $165. The RSI values have been hovering around the 40 to 60 range, indicating neither extreme oversold nor overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands suggest that the price is currently near the upper band, indicating a potential for a pullback. Considering the forecast for the next week, with prices expected to range from $152 to $160, I propose a long position strategy. The entry price should be $152, with a stop-loss placed at $151 to mitigate potential losses. A target price of $158 can be set, aiming to capitalize on the anticipated upward movement. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI signals. When the RSI dips below 20, oversold, it signals a buying opportunity. Conversely, an RSI above 80, overbought, suggests selling. Given the current RSI around $57, we will wait for a pullback. If the price retraces to $152 and the RSI falls below 30, we'll enter a long position with an entry price of $152, a stop-loss at $151, and a target price of $158. This combined approach, leveraging both Bollinger Bands and RSI, aims to optimize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON exhibits an overall upward trend. The price has been consistently making higher highs and higher lows, with the support price holding steady at $0.283. The RSI, while fluctuating, generally remains above 50, indicating bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been trading within the bands, suggesting moderate volatility. Considering the forecast prices, which predict a continued upward trajectory, I propose a long position strategy. The entry price should be $0.287, coinciding with a recent price level and aligning with the upward trend. A stop-loss should be placed slightly below the support level at $0.282 to protect against potential downside risks. The initial target price should be $0.297, based on the forecast price and a reasonable profit margin. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will enter a long position at $0.283. The stop-loss will be set at $0.279, and the target price will be $0.293. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 70, signaling an overbought condition, we will consider exiting the position or taking profits. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity at $0.264, with a stop-loss at $0.262 and a target price of $0.285. Combining these signals with the overall trend, the most efficient portfolio would prioritize the long position at $0.287 with a stop-loss at $0.282 and a target price of $0.297, adjusting based on RSI and Bollinger Band signals for enhanced risk management and profit optimization. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a slight upward trend, consistently bouncing off the support price of $0.176. The RSI fluctuates between 37.2 and 56.6, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Band suggests increased volatility recently, with the price nearing the upper band on July 9, 2025. Considering these factors, I propose a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands to capitalize on potential price movements. The forecast data indicates a continued upward trajectory, with prices hovering around $0.171 to $0.181. My recommended strategy involves a long position. Entry price will be $0.171. The stop loss should be set just below the support level at $0.168 to protect against potential downside risks. The initial target price will be $0.181, aligning with the upper end of the forecast range and the recent upper Bollinger Band. If the price reaches the target, consider moving the stop loss to the entry price to secure profits and potentially ride further upward momentum. This combined approach leverages both technical indicators and forecast data to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano shows a fluctuating trend with a recent upward momentum. The RSI indicates that the asset is currently in a neutral to slightly overbought territory, but it has been oversold in the recent past. The Bollinger Band suggests that the price is approaching the upper band, indicating a potential for a pullback. Considering these factors, I recommend a strategy that combines trend following and mean reversion. We will initiate a long position at $0.591, capitalizing on the recent upward trend and the forecast prices. To manage risk, we will set a stop-loss order at $0.585, just below the recent support level and the lower Bollinger Band. Our target price will be $0.62, aligning with the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI falls below 33, we will enter a long position at the price level. If the RSI exceeds 80, we will exit the position and consider a short position. The portfolio will primarily focus on the trend-following strategy with a slight adjustment based on the RSI. The entry price is $0.591, the stop loss is $0.585, and the target price is $0.62. This combination provides a balance between capturing potential upside and limiting downside risk, aiming for high returns while maintaining a prudent risk management approach. Based on the historical data and forecast, SWAY shows an overall upward trend with price fluctuations. The RSI consistently hovers around the 40 to 50 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price movement. Considering the support price of $2.67 and the forecast for the next week, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position when the RSI drops below 35, targeting the resistance level of $3.49. The entry price will be $2.8, with a stop loss set at $2.67 to protect against potential downside risks. To maximize returns and manage risk, I propose a combined strategy incorporating RSI and Bollinger Bands. We will enter a long position at $2.93 when the price touches the lower band and the RSI is below 35. The initial target price will be $3.49, aligning with the resistance level. If the price reaches $3.49, we will move our stop loss to the center of the Bollinger Bands, currently around $2.8, to secure profits and limit potential losses. A secondary target price of $3.07 will be set based on the forecast, providing an additional profit opportunity. This blended approach aims to capitalize on both momentum and volatility, optimizing risk-adjusted returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin Cash shows a clear upward trend with support at $497 and resistance at $529. The RSI consistently remains above 54, indicating bullish momentum. The forecast prices project a continued rise, reaching $545 by July 16, 2025. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position. The entry price should be $516, coinciding with the first day of the forecast period. To manage risk, set a stop loss at $497, just below the established support level. The initial target price should be $534, aligning with the forecast for July 12, 2025. To maximize potential gains, we'll employ a dynamic target strategy. Once the price reaches $534, move the stop loss to break even at $516. If the price continues to rise, adjust the target price to $545, the highest forecast value. This approach combines the benefits of RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels to capitalize on the prevailing bullish trend while effectively mitigating downside risk. This strategy provides a high probability opportunity for substantial returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, the Sandbox shows a slight upward trend, particularly noticeable in the recent days. The RSI consistently stays below 80, indicating that the asset isn't currently overbought. However, the RSI has been climbing, suggesting increasing buying momentum. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been fluctuating within a defined range, recently approaching the upper band. Considering these factors, I propose a long position strategy with an entry price of $0.253, a stop-loss price of $0.235, and a target price of $0.275. This strategy aims to capitalize on the potential upward movement while mitigating risk with a conservative stop-loss. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate a dynamic approach. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, I will adjust the target price to $0.285. Conversely, if the RSI dips below 30, signaling an oversold condition, I will consider exiting the position or tightening the stop-loss to $0.245 to protect profits. This adaptive strategy combines the strengths of the RSI and Bollinger Bands, allowing for flexibility and maximizing potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Uniswap exhibits an overall upward trend with recent volatility. The RSI values have fluctuated between 45.8 and 62.9, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has recently been approaching the upper band, suggesting a potential for a pullback. Considering the forecast data, the price is expected to continue rising, reaching $8.66. Therefore, I recommend a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands. We will initiate a long position when the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $7.88 when the RSI dips below 30. Place a stop-loss order at $7.52, just below the support level, to limit potential losses. Set a target price at $8.66, aligning with the forecast price and the resistance level. This strategy combines the momentum indicator RSI with the volatility indicator Bollinger Bands to identify optimal entry and exit points. This portfolio is expected to deliver high returns due to the upward trend and the strategic use of technical indicators. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethena shows a mixed trend with periods of volatility. The RSI fluctuating between 38.6 and 53.7 suggests the asset is neither consistently oversold nor overbought. The Bollinger Bands indicate periods of expansion and contraction, reflecting market uncertainty. Considering the support price of $0.278 and the resistance price of $0.292, and the forecast price, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. I suggest entering a long position at $0.26, with a stop-loss order set at $0.258. The initial target price is $0.275, aiming to capture a quick profit from a potential upward movement. To refine the strategy, we can incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the RSI dips below 20, indicating an oversold condition, a long position can be entered at the lowest price, with a stop-loss at $0.255 and a target at $0.27. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 80, signaling an overbought condition, a short position can be considered. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, a long position can be entered at $0.263, with a stop-loss at $0.261 and a target at $0.278. Combining these signals, a portfolio with a weighted average of these strategies will be most efficient, with a 60% allocation to the moderately bullish strategy and 40% to the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. Based on the historical data and forecast, Pepe shows a slight upward trend with price fluctuations around the support price of $0.0000104. The RSI consistently remains between 37.4 and 57.4, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the middle band, suggesting moderate volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 30, aiming to capitalize on potential upward momentum. The entry price will be $0.0000101. To manage risk, we'll set a stop loss at the support level of $0.0000104. The target price will be set at $0.0000110, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and providing a reasonable profit margin. To refine this strategy, we'll integrate Bollinger Band's predictions. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, it signals a potential continuation of the upward trend, prompting us to adjust the target price to $0.0000110. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it suggests a potential pullback, reinforcing the stop loss at $0.0000104. The portfolio will prioritize the RSI strategy as the primary indicator, with Bollinger Bands serving as a secondary confirmation tool. This combined approach aims to maximize returns while effectively mitigating risks associated with Pepe's volatility. Based on the historical data and forecast, Raydium shows an upward trend with consistent price increases, and the forecast data further supports this direction. The RSI values have been fluctuating but generally trending upwards, indicating increasing momentum. The price is currently near the support level of $1.95, which presents a good entry opportunity. Considering the RSI is below 50, we can implement a long position strategy. Entry price will be $2.24. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $1.95 to protect against a potential downside reversal. The initial target price will be $2.51, aligning with the forecast high. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price has been consistently trading within the bands, and a recent upward movement suggests the price might touch the upper band. Therefore, we'll add a second target price of $2.51, coinciding with the forecast high. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, we'll consider adjusting the target price further. The combined strategy is a long position with an entry price of $2.24, a stop loss at $1.95, and two target prices of $2.51. This portfolio balances the momentum indicated by the RSI, the support and resistance levels, and the price movement within the Bollinger Bands for a high return investment. Based on the historical data and forecast, Lido DAO shows a slight upward trend. The RSI fluctuates between 38.9 and 55.0, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased volatility. The support price remains consistently at $0.772, while the resistance price is $0.808. The forecast for the next week predicts a gradual increase, with prices ranging from $0.75 to $0.791. Considering these factors, I recommend a combined strategy utilizing RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. My strategy involves a long position when the RSI dips below 20 and the price touches the support level of $0.772. Entry price will be $0.772. The stop loss will be set just below the support at $0.762 to protect against potential downside. The initial target price will be the resistance level of $0.808. If the price reaches $0.808, we will consider moving the stop loss to break-even, $0.772, and setting a second target price at $0.83. This approach aims to capitalize on the upward trend while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placement and profit-taking targets. Based on the historical data and forecast, Stellar demonstrates a clear upward trend. The RSI consistently moves above 30, indicating a bullish momentum. The forecast data projects a continued increase in price, reaching $0.298. Considering the support price of $0.288 and the resistance price of $0.293, and the forecast price, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price should be set at $0.264, coinciding with the first day of the forecast period. A stop-loss order should be placed just below the support level at $0.26 to protect against potential downside risks. The initial target price should be set at $0.289, aligning with the highest forecast price and the previous resistance level. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. When the price touches the bottom band, it signals a potential buying opportunity, and when it touches the top band, it signals a potential selling opportunity. The RSI strategy will be the primary driver, with the Bollinger Bands providing confirmation. If the RSI is above 70, consider taking profits. If the RSI is below 30, consider buying more. The final portfolio will be a long position with an entry price of $0.264, a stop-loss price of $0.26, and a target price of $0.289. This strategy combines technical indicators and price action to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Compound has shown volatility with a recent downtrend. The RSI indicates oversold conditions, with values consistently below 40 for several days, suggesting a potential bounce. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is nearing the lower band, reinforcing the possibility of a rebound. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $43.1. A stop-loss should be placed just below the recent low of $40.7 to limit potential losses. The initial target price should be set at the resistance level of $48.2, aiming to capitalize on a potential upward movement. To refine this strategy, we can incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI crosses above 39.4 and the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, it's a strong signal to enter a long position at $42.7. The stop-loss remains at $40.7, and the target price is adjusted to $44.7, a more conservative approach given the forecast. This blended strategy combines trend analysis, momentum indicators, and volatility bands for a more robust and adaptive investment approach. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogwifhat shows a potential for upward movement. The price has been fluctuating within a range, but the recent trend suggests a bullish momentum. The RSI values, while oscillating, have generally been above 40, indicating a moderate buying pressure. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price breakouts. Considering these factors, I propose a long position strategy. The entry price will be $0.889, coinciding with the first day of the forecast period and a relatively low price within the recent range. The stop-loss will be set at $0.86, just below the recent support level and the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.934, aligning with the forecast price for July 11, 2025, and the upper boundary of the recent Bollinger Bands. To refine this strategy, I'll incorporate RSI signals. If the price dips and the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will hold the position with a tighter stop-loss at $0.85. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 70 or above, suggesting an overbought condition, we will take partial profits at $0.91 and move the stop-loss to break even. The final target price will be $0.961, based on the last forecast price, with a trailing stop-loss adjusted based on the Bollinger Bands. This combined strategy, leveraging historical trends, forecast data, and RSI/Bollinger Band signals, aims to maximize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ether.fi shows a generally upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI fluctuates between 40 and 56, indicating neither extreme overbought nor oversold conditions consistently. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a period of lower volatility followed by a potential breakout. Given this, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position at $0.962. The stop loss will be set at $0.832, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to protect against unexpected downside movements. Our initial target price will be $1.06, aligning with the resistance level and the upper Bollinger Band. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the price dips and RSI falls below 20, we will consider accumulating more positions at $0.966, setting a stop loss at $0.832, and targeting $1.03. Conversely, if the price rises and RSI exceeds 80, we will consider taking partial profits at $1.03 and tightening the stop loss to $0.997, aiming for a further increase to $1.06. This dynamic approach allows us to capitalize on both upward momentum and potential corrections, maximizing returns while managing risk effectively.